time, the mayor will call to order the regular city council meeting for 7 p.m. Tuesday, November the 16th, 2021. City Council Chambers, 201 East Nash Street, Terrell, Texas. We have remotely District 2, Grady Simpson. We have in the chambers, District 3, Mayrani Velasquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, and District 4, Stephanie Holmes Thomas. Absent from the meeting today will be District 5, Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem, and he is excused. At this time, would Senior Pastor from Cornerstone Reformed Baptist Church, Nick Esch, come forward, please? And lead us in invocation. If you'd please stand and then remain standing for the pledges.
Heavenly Father, we know that you are good and that you are in control. You are gracious, you are kind, you are loving, you are merciful. The mere fact that we are able to gather here with the freedoms we have is evidence of that. But you've given us so much more proof. You've shown your love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ, your own Son, came and lived and died and rose again to save us from our sin. So, Father, we thank you for that. We pray that everything that happens here tonight would be to honor you, to honor Christ, to honor the grace that you have freely given to all who will receive it. And more so, God, we pray for discernment tonight, for wisdom, that you would guide the meeting in the direction you would have it go, for the good of the citizens of this city and for your glory. So, God, I pray for each of these officials. I pray for each person in this room, that you would guide them, that you give them the right words to speak, the right thoughts to think. And I pray that as they go forward in this meeting and in everything they do, that they would honor you. I pray that the city of Terrell.
They had 48 athletes to qualify for the TAAF Games of Texas in Corpus Christi. We're going to recognize all of these winners here in just a moment, but we also want to say thank you to Terrell Prime Track Club, who's affiliated with the Amateur Athletic Union, also known as AAU. They're members of the Southwestern AAU Union Region 18. With Terrell Prime, they have been engaging in track and field activities with kids and young adults to help strengthen these individuals mentally and physically by using experience, exercise, action, and service. They are mentored on methods and other educational avenues that will enhance their lifelong successful habits. They incorporate a structured discipline and spiritual guidance that will bring awareness to them and to the young adults that all things are possible with faith and a clear mind and a cleansed body. So to both of these organizations, one is coached by Jamal McCullough, the other by Keith Willis. We want to say thank you. And at this time, would you please come forward with the list of I think they're winners from the state, right? Just come up to the mic, and if I could have the two council women please help the coach by giving them a small token gift from the city, right? And then we're going to take a big photo once they're complete.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council, City of Terrell. We thank y'all for all the support that you gave us this past year. All of our track members could not be here today. They have other activities going on, high school basketball games,
right,
like that. But some of them are here, and the ones that are here, we will recognize. We have Simpson.
And don't be afraid to come up and
Yeah.
Zaze Brown, Kenya Simpson, Keyshawn Simpson, Zoe Mitchell, A Miracle, Tyron, Nene. You remember too. Yeah. Malaya. just a few of the members of the staff.
Okay, so, but I see other kids out there as well. Women, would you please pass those cookies out to them? We don't want to leave anybody out.
You want to be part of the photo too or not? Be part of
So I have, we have a female athlete of the year, Malaya Johnson, a gold medalist in the, you got to hear what you got to hear this. So she was a gold medalist in the 100 meters and 200 meters, and a member of the record-setting 4x100 meter relay with a 1.70 time. And where is she? Wow. And this is from the mayor. Now, the council members don't even have one of these yet. And then the male athlete of the year, Kyron Dabney. Where's Kyron? So he was a silver medalist in the 400 meters and in the 800 meters. So if you would, Kyron, come forward. And at this time, we're going to take some photos. And if there were any that came in that we haven't recognized and given a cookie, let's get those to them, please.
And Mayor, I'd also like to, thank all our parents, and maybe you're a cousin or maybe you're a brother, but we work hard during the day, and then we still take time in our evenings and weekends to be able to make sure our community, our kiddos get to participate in sports and have good activities, healthy activities that promote good values. So a big thank you to you all for all the time and commitment that you put into your kiddos in our community.
Let's get the entire group where they're right here in front of the podium, and then we'll do the athletes of the year separately. Let's do the whole group, and then we'll do those two by themselves.
Where's the council members? Can you get everybody?
You guys come up. Yeah, make sure we see.
Yeah, everybody's trying to make sure we're able to be seen. Including you. Okay, here we go. Everybody smile. Everybody smile.
Let's get one with the coach.
Now,
Let's get one with the coach. Absolutely. Where? Where are you? Okay.
okay. You want to do the two athletes of the year?
The two
and
athletes of the year?
Yes.
Yeah, and the council. So the two athletes of the year. Thank you. Congratulations to all of you. Yes. Did you want to give them their
Yes,
plaques?
sir. Yeah.
So this says, the Texas Amateur Athletic Federation is proud to recognize Malaya Johnson as North Texas Longhorns Female Athlete of the Year. And this one says the Texas Amateur Athletic Federation is proud to recognize Kyron Dabney as North Texas Longhorns Male Athlete of the Year. Yes, and Coach, would you get?
You want to get in on this one?
There you go.
There you go. There we go. Perfect.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Coaches for making Terrell very proud of the achievements that you've had over this past year. Look for great things coming forward next year, all right? Good job.
We also want to present this to you, to the city of Terrell.
Wonderful.
Our teachers want to know.
Cool. Hey, is this going to mayor's office? Is it? I would.
in your office.
I would. You know, the only thing missing is something that says "Go Irish" on it.
Thank you, sir. And also, we had a plaque also for Mr. Caldwell. We were calling him nonstop. We had to call his office while we were going down there, and he was instrumental in helping us out. So we like to present his
I want to see that. I want to see it longer in your office.
I'm gonna say a few words real quick, Mr. Mayor, if that's okay. So, to the parents and all the families that have been involved with all of this, to God be the glory. What a beautiful job you all have done. Amen. The coaches, my God, the work that it takes and the commitment is unparalleled to anything I could ever imagine. So, God bless you. And to the ones that stand behind me, which are really out front, most of you don't know, I could do nothing without my Lord and Savior, but first and foremost, the individuals that sit here, the city manager, the mayor, and the council. That's what makes things happen and make a difference in what we do. So thank y'all. Thank y'all, because this is yours as well.
That was very nice.
You know, before y'all leave, I do need to say, even though she special recognition, Janaria Jackson, right? Who was a gold medalist in the 100 meters and the 200 meters with a 23.64 new state record. And she had another event, but we need to get her a football as well. And congratulations to her. And if she wants to come back at a separate one, just her, please do that. All right? All right. Thank you all very much. Now,
Thank you.
so is there any other recognitions from the council? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item. Discuss and consider the minutes of the special city council meeting and workshop on November the 1st, 2021, the special city council meeting and workshop on November the 2nd of 2021, and the regular city council meeting on November of the 2nd on 2021. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I move to approve the special council meeting and workshop minutes from November the 1st, the special city council meeting and workshop meetings from November the 2nd, and the regular city council meeting minutes from November the 2nd.
We have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there a second?
A second.
Have a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion will carry. Our next item on the agenda is hear remarks from visitors. Do we have any? We have none. Our next item would be the boards and commissions. Discuss and consider zoning board of adjustments appointment. Ms. Dawn Stahl.
Mayor and council, in your packet is the roster for the zoning board of adjustments. There is one open position that needs to be filled, and there's also 4 applications in your packet.
Okay, and this falls under Mayor Ronnie?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Councilwoman Velazquez, are you ready to go? Do you have a recommendation?
Yes, I move to appoint John Kegris to serve as a zoning board of adjustments board member.
All right, we have a motion from Mayrani Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a
I
second
second.
from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Next item on the agenda is to discuss and
Aye.
consider contract with Sharp Technologies. This is our Library IT Director, Rebecca Anderson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mary Gills and I put together a resolution this afternoon, regarding the Sharp printer contract.
I think you're gonna find at page 19, there's a resolution 1074.
Yes.
So agenda page 19, resolution 1074 is the resolution.
Yes.
That we worked on.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I'm just reading the resolution for y'all. Okay. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, approving the copier maintenance agreement and the printer maintenance agreement between the City of Terrell, Texas and Sharp Business Systems for the maintenance of copiers and printers in use by the City of Terrell, Texas, and a municipal agreement between the City of Terrell, Texas and Great America Financial Services Corporation for lease of multiple copiers and printers in use by the City of Terrell, Texas, authorizing the city manager or his designee to negotiate and execute the agreements with Sharp Business Systems and Great America Financial Services and establishing an effective date.
Okay. Thank you. So, go ahead.
Just one note, yeah. So, Council, this is just one in a series of major updates that Becca's been leading for us. We asked her to step in, not just do library, but also do IT. She's updated quite a few things for us. She tackled printers this time around. Basically, as you saw in her previous presentation, we're saving money and we're getting better customer service and better products and better technology. So that's a win on all cases. I think mainly of interest for council, if you go down to section 1, section 2, section 3, that shows you the dollar amounts and the term with each of the 3 different agreements that are in this package. So the first one is 60 months and $1,600 per month. The second one is 60 months, not to exceed $300 a month. And then the last one is that 60 months, $7,600. And that's the lease in combination with Great American Financial Services. So as we always do, we're going to do a little bit more arm wrestling and negotiating to get the absolute best out of our partner here. And that's the reason we wanted to go ahead and do this in resolution form so that we could push just a little bit harder on our partner.
So I recall we had discussion last week on this item. Is there anything in the contract that helps the city? What I don't want to do is repeat our past option of not being able to get rid of the equipment and having to store it. Is there anything in this contract that says, should we part ways for any reason, hey, you come get your equipment and we don't have to store it? I know we have to store some of this other printers on the other group.
Yes, this agreement is more flexible than the previous agreement. We are more actively involved in the process, and as these machines age out, they will be replaced. So we won't be storing any for any length of time.
All right. Anybody have any questions or comment? Again, this is going to be resolution number 1074. Okay, no questions? Thank you, Becca.
Thank you.
Is there a motion on item 8.1?
Mayor and council, I move to approve resolution 1074 as presented.
We have a motion from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4. Is there a second?
I second.
Have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion will carry. Our next item on the agenda is 8.2, discuss and consider resolution number 1068, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, adopting the attached policies in connection with the City of Terrell, Texas, participation in federally funded Texas Community Development Block Grant projects and adherence to the regulations described therein, establishing an effective date. This is our Emergency Management Coordinator, Dustin Connor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good to be here again tonight. This resolution is the first of two resolutions to finalize our FAST grant that we're working on. The FAST grant was the $474,000 grant that gave us the brush truck, some air packs, thermal imaging cameras, extrication equipment, some gear, and some cardiac monitors. So these are two pieces that the block grant, the Texas Department of Agriculture, who's the grant agency, is requiring of us to receive the funding. So this first resolution is just some of their regulatory stuff that we didn't get in the first round. So that's what this resolution is.
Okay. Does anyone have any comments or questions for Dustin? Thank you, Dustin. Is there a motion on resolution number 1068?
Mayor, make a motion that we move on resolution 1068.
We have a motion from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there a second? Have a second from Mayrani Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, District 3. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Item 8.3 is discuss and consider resolution number 1069, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, designating authorized signatories for contractual documents, environmental documents, and documents for requesting funds pertaining to the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program, contract number 7220076. Again, this is Dustin Connor.
So this document is the last document, should be the last document that we need for the FAST fund, and this one allows the mayor or city manager to sign the contractual documents that are going to be required with the Texas Block Grant. So this piece is just the last resolution that we're going to need to be able to execute those documents.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Dustin Connor on resolution number 1069? Thank you, Dustin. Hearing none, is there a motion on resolution 1069?
I move to approve resolution number 1069 as presented.
We have a motion from Mayrani Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, District 3. Is there a second?
A second.
I have a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4. Is there any further discussion?
I was trying to think of a difficult question to ask Dustin here. Give him a hard time as a Kaufman County leadership member, a classmate, but I will say that, one thing, I don't recall if we read on his resume or when we hired him as a full-time employee, but he just really is really good. I come to find that about getting money wherever he's at. So whether it's money for the city or whether it's money for fire or, another fundraising opportunity. So
If you could not say that to my wife, I would appreciate it.
She might, try to have you get money for a nice trip somewhere. I don't blame her.
Thank you for those comments. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion will carry. Item number 8.4, discuss and consider resolution number 1070, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, authorizing the selection of a professional service provider for the Community Resilience Program through the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs, establishing an effective date. Again, this is Dustin Connor.
Since we're talking about grants, how about one more?
All right.
So this one was one that kind of snuck up on us. It was a good opportunity for us to do some stuff for the community. So we, a few weeks ago, went out for RFP for a company to manage this grant program for us. The application period just opened The only application, or the only proposal that we got was from Public Management, a company that we've dealt with before, and we've had good success with. So this is the selection of the only proposal that we got to manage that for us. The program that we're looking at applying for is the Community Resilience Program through the Department of Housing and Community Affairs. And what we're looking at doing is funding a project for a mobile health clinic. So this will be a vehicle, right, a large vehicle that we can take not only here in the city but throughout the county to provide mobile health services. The big key point is for COVID vaccinations and COVID testing right now, but there may be future uses. So that's what this program's for.
Great. No, you know what? Anytime we can ask for and receive grants and monies from outside, it's always a good thing for the city. So thank you for those efforts. Is there any discussion?
I want to commend him also making this mobile to go to our community. There's so many community members that may not have access to transportation or can't get there, so hats off to you for bringing this to us.
Great. All right, is there a motion on resolution number 1070?
Mayor, council, I move to approve resolution 1070.
We have a motion from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4. Is there a second?
I second.
Have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion?
And on this grant, do we have the opportunity to, when the grant is submitted and approved, or hopefully it's approved, I'm wondering if there's still time to make it adjustments to the proposed grant, or if there's going to be an opportunity to kind of extend the services of the grant.
So the grant period just opened. They just extended the deadline for it, so we have some more room to play with as far as the application goes. There are a couple of different areas that we can apply for, but after talking to the agency and reading their notice funding opportunity, it really looks like that this mobile health clinic is going to be the best avenue for us to go. The minimum funding amount was $500,000. So this vehicle that we're looking at, that we're going to apply for, is about a $600,000 vehicle with equipment included. But the grant doesn't provide services. So the actual like test kits and stuff like that, you can get them through the grant, but you have to have already had a program in place where you were buying test kits, let's say, and then you're going to try to continue that program. And since we didn't already have one in place, it's not, we felt like it was going to hurt us to apply for the vehicle and a new program, since their guidance pretty much says that it should be a program that's already in place and moving forward.
What type of vehicle is this, and what could we do with it afterward?
So the vehicle is going to be something similar to like a Carter blood care bus, not that big, but something like that. You come in one side, go out the other. The grant period, the performance period is, I think it's 3 years. And you have to have a plan in place on how you're going to use it to meet the grant requirements for the full 3 years. And then after that 3 years is up, that grant period is over, and so you can pretty much do whatever you want to do with that vehicle. But yeah, so in the grant period, it can only be used for that. Its primary focus has to be whatever that grant program was.
Just a wonder, because I'm reading online, and it says that it can provide medical care, social services, emergency housing. And so I wonder if there's an opportunity with like the Meet Your City events, or to take that vehicle.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is not gonna.
Technology, et cetera, that could be part of that.
Yeah, this is not gonna have just sit in the parking lot and wait for, an occasional clinic to run, right? Our goal is is going to be to get this out and about quite a bit. So whenever we see an opportunity, Terrell Taco Festival, Juneteenth, British Bash, Christmas Parade, we need this out and about constantly, and we'll certainly be doing that. While the grant says mobile clinic, we're going to operate it as mobile clinic. We're allowed to use it to explain healthcare issues to people and do other things that are more just pure community outreach. So we don't have to just be, giving shots for COVID in it. We might do a lot of shots for COVID out of it, but we can use it for a diverse range of things. And we want it to be something where, hey, the Meet Your City event is a great example because you could have it parked outside of the Meet Your City event. People can go in and out of it, just like the mobile literacy bus that the school district has. So I think you'll see it parked next to that mobile literacy bus from time to time, I'm sure.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Our next item on the agenda is 8.5, discuss and consider resolution number 1073, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, authorizing selection of a professional service provider for project number 20-16, design of the Crossroads Park improvements through the Texas Park and Wildlife Department grant, and authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute the agreement for the engineering and design services for project number 20-16, design of the Crossroads Park improvements. This is our Director of Public Services, Glenn Caldwell.
Mr. Mayor, Council, it's always a pleasure to come before you. This is an item that we've had extensive discussions on, and as you well know, it takes a few minutes to get through all the protocols to get to the point where we are, and that's with design. We sent out RFQs for this particular project to several engineering consultant firms. We were excited to receive 3 opportunities to review the RFQs. Our panel consisted of myself, Mr. Cornell Horn, and Mr. Steve Rogers, the city engineer. If you look in your packet, we did include a site map of the location that we're referencing, which is the linear park, which looks kind of like the golf club that's headed in the opposite direction at the bottom of the page. Out of those consultants that we had an opportunity to review, the results and our findings brought forward that our selection would be from city staff, Friesen Nichols as the highest score. We had Friesen Nichols that provided a packet, Simon Engineering, and KSA Engineers, which all those firms we are familiar with. So with that, Mr. Mayor, Council, I'm asking Council to approve Resolution 1073 and to include an amount not to exceed $152,882.00. And I'll open up for comments, Mr. Mayor.
Does anybody have any questions for Glenn on Resolution 1073? Again, this is a not to exceed number of $152,882. Hearing none, is there a motion on Resolution number 1073?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 1073, not to exceed $152,000 and $882.
All right, we have a motion from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there a second? Have a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Our next item is 8.6, discuss and consider resolution number 1067 for Park Improvement Program. Again, this is Glenn Caldwell.
Mr. Mayor and Council, again, this is one of those items that we have had extensive conversations associated with. The objective and goal in this particular item is to install, one of the items is to install our first restroom over at the Bengill Park, adjacent to the tennis court and the swimming pool. That's one of the items that we brought forward. Obviously, it's important that we bring forward a quality unit which this is a modular restroom that we'll be bringing forward. And we were able to identify a company that we hope to work with that will allow us to create a quality product that resembles the greatest structure in that area, and that's the Excel Center. So with that, what we'd like to do associated with that item is to ask council to allow the city manager or his designee to enter an agreement in an amount not to exceed $250,000. That's in section 2.1, I'm sorry. And item 2, in that section, we also would like to ask council to allow the city manager to enter into, or his designee to enter into a agreement with Musco Sports Lighting LLC. Again, these are items we've talked about extensively, so I don't want to discuss these items. That is an amount not to exceed $1 million. And this will include the soccer field and the football field at Ben Gill Park. Now, there's one other component to that, and that's the infrastructure. So once we acquire the lighting, we also need to do the infrastructure, and that's work with Encore to get the infrastructure in so that we can fire up the lights. That's an amount not to exceed $250,000. Let's keep this in mind. When we started this process, it was nearly a year and a half ago. Well, the pricing changed, the costs changed. So just the lighting alone cost us $1.2 million. Well, we were able to work with the provider and get the light costs reduced by $200,000, which gives us an opportunity to say, hey, we love this group because they're giving us a chance to save money and utilize those dollars they would have charged us to do the infrastructure. And I'll close and open up for comments.
So the total on all 3 projects is $1.5 million.
That's correct.
Exceed $1.5
Yes, sir.
million.
That is correct, Mr.
For
Mayor.
resolution 1067.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So, Mayor and council, just for clarity, this is, again, money that comes out of the borrow that was already done by the Park and Downtown Improvement Corporation. So that borrowing's happened, those funds are in a bank account, we're ready to go, we're ready to spend that money. And then the other thing to note here is the Park and Downtown Improvement Corporation did unanimously recommend this resolution for your approval.
So they recommend moving forward with it.
Yes, sir.
We've already had discussion on it before.
Yes, sir.
Great job. Thank you, Glenn. Does anybody have any question? All right, is there a motion on resolution number 1067? Do we have to, in the motion?
This one's in the motion. In the resolution. It's in the resolution this time.
Okay, so just the resolution and not to exceed 1.5? Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Is there a motion on resolution number 1067 for park improvement program?
I move to approve resolution number 1067 and the amount not to exceed $1.5 million.
We have a motion for Mayor Ronnie Velasquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there a second?
A second.
All right, second.
From Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4. Is there any further discussion?
Mayor, I would like for the community to know that the Paddock Board deliberated over various meetings and over a year, I think 2 years, even throughout the pandemic on the different opportunities for our different parks. And based on feedback from community members a few years back with the downtown plan, with the park plan, the comprehensive plan, and then leveraging each of those board members from the Paddock Board and what they're hearing from community members, it was decided how to use some of the funds that the Paddock Board has at this time. So this is a project that certainly took a lot of input from the community, and wasn't a decision that was just made overnight.
Right. No, there's a lot of discussion. Here's what I say is that it's good that the community's finally going to see some action from the Paddock Board and from the council moving forward on the park improvements that we promised when we did the Type B board. So good for everybody. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Our next item on the agenda is item 8.7, discuss and consider facade grant opportunities. This is Director of Municipal Development, Charles Fenner.
All right, Mayor and Council, before you do have Resolution 2021-7 for the paddock board projects that we are doing for facades. As you know, we have instructed Mark Thacker, our expert on historical architectural stuff, and he is running down the CBD area and into our downtown district and a little further. He is doing a lot of renditions and working with a lot of people, and we thought strategically, Mr. Sims and I thought that it would be a good idea to participate in what some of these individuals are doing and allow him to do some renderings of their buildings so we could stay in the same era, whether it's 1800s or the 1900s and so forth. So you do know that I had brought a facade, resolution for a facade, and you need this is straight out of the paddock board, the funds that they put aside, the $150,000 a year. We did approve a facade grant for Mr. Elliott Jones. He was the first one for our program, and he just now signed the agreement, so he'll be doing some construction there. Mr. Smith, when we went to Mr. Houston Smith, our attorney over here at Moore Street, he had started talking to me about doing this building, and you know what we do is we let them know that we want to try to they have to have an historical perspective from their design, and whether it's preservation or renovation, if they're preserving, there's a little more detail, and if they're trying to just get back to the historical piece, then they have to submit the plan for that. We thought the easy way of doing this, and maybe really encouraging that infusion of those the dollars to do their projects, they would need some help, and so what we did was we had Mark Thacker. We just kind of unleashed him and said, go for it, draw up some pretty pictures that meet some architectural styles, where they're, again, like the French styles of the early 1900s and so forth. So we did that with we have several renderings out there right now. And during the paddock board at the last meeting, I made the presentation to him and said, hey, Mr. Smith is excited. He wants to come forth. And I had a bid for him, and I just made the presentation, and then I would come back to the paddock board and say, here's what we've decided on that grant, and you guys can pass a resolution. Well, during that time, Mr. Smith was very excited, and so he just said, look, I'm going to take a chance. I really love what Mark Thacker did, and I trust that the board will be participating in this. And so we let him get started, and he followed that rendition just like he had from Mark Thacker. So it was a really good deal, and I hope y'all have been by there to see some of the progress. He's also added an awning just this past week to the bid, and so he's going to be completing that soon. We took it to the paddock board. This was a $23,000 project, and the paddock board agreed to allow the city manager to negotiate or be authorized to enter into agreement for no more than $8,500 to participate in this grant, and we highly recommend that.
So the total is $32,037.94.
No, sir. Actually, it'd be his total will be $23,537.94, and we will pay up to $8,500 of that.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was two different projects.
No, sir.
Okay, good.
He had added an awning. The first portion was $21,000 just for the project. Then he had an awning. It was another $2,000. And you remember the first project you did was Mr. Drones is going to spend $250,000 on his building, and we gave him a grant for $50,000.
Okay. Well, so the park board has looked at it, the Downtown Improvement Corporation, the paddock board has looked at it, and,
I'll say one thing,
yes,
just
go ahead.
for a point of clarity. Several of you know that we've talked to Mr. Smith also, and basically have an agreement with him on a mural that will be able to go on the one of the walls of his building. east side wall. We just have a couple more steps before we bring that agreement forward, so that we're not doing that here. We'll, in a future meeting, come back with a historic mural opportunity on the east wall of his building.
All right, so is there any further questions? Hearing none, we'll, oh, go ahead, okay.
No questions, Mayor, but I will say that I've had the opportunity to talk with our attorney, Houston Smith, and with no binding to the paddock or the city or city council with funds to the project. He was very excited to, share the work that he's done on the project, very excited that, and thankful that we were able to connect him with Mark Thacker and that he was able to follow and obtain the materials to make sure that the building does match the historical aspect that we're looking for. He is a long time, or maybe a long time community member and business member in the community. So I'm excited that we have individuals that are longtime community members that are continuing to invest here without finding the city and moving forward prior to having some assistance.
I'll tag on to that. It says a lot about the city of Terrell, this council, this mayor, this city manager, this staff member, when people act in good faith, just saying, hey, you know what, I'm gonna put faith in the city that they're gonna help on this project and move forward with it, right? So it's good to have that reputation that you're a city that works with individuals to better the community. And this is just the beginning of what we all know is going to be something great for downtown. Looking forward to that. Is there a motion on Paddock Resolution 2021-7?
I move to approve resolution number 20217 as presented.
I have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velasquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there a second?
Second.
I second.
I have a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next item on the agenda is to adjourn into executive session in accordance with Section 551 of the Texas Government Code to discuss the following. Section 551.072, deliberations regarding real property. Section 551.074, personnel matters. Section 551.087, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations.
We're just getting our motions polished up there. I think we got
Sure.
them polished.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. We are going to reconvene into regular session and consider action, if any, on items discussed in executive session. Are there any motions?
Yes, Mayor and Council, I move to authorize, golly, I can't read my own writing. To authorize, the EDC to enter into, a grant of $250,000 with Old Castle Industries. Thank you.
We have a motion from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4. Is there a second?
I second.
I have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion will carry. Is there another motion?
I move to authorize the City of Terrell to do a 5-year tax rebate to 1836 Farms using a tax year base of 2019.
I have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velasquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there a second?
A second.
Have a second.
I
from
second.
Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Still here.
Aye.
Aye. Still here.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. We are adjourned.
Mayor and council, thank you very
Yes.
much.